Hello, everyone. You're listening to the Socially Desi Show, the podcast that motivates you to live, create, and inspire. If this is your first time here, welcome. On our show, we discuss tips and strategies with our guest speakers on how to tackle problems related to personal growth, mental health, relationships, business and entrepreneurship, and health and fitness. So hit that subscribe button and go check out our website at sociallydesi.com for more of such content. Today, I'm joined by Mr. Amit Kumar. He's the founder of Galaxy Card. Galaxy Card provides one of the fastest lending solutions in India through its exclusive and instantly approved credit cards. Incepted in 2018, the company has acquired a huge customer base from over 20,000 towns across the country. The digital credit card can be instantly made available within 3 minutes and benefits the customer with no annual joining or interest charges. It can be used to shop online as well as to make all kinds of payments, including utility bills, phone charge, and even paying for roadside stalls. With that, I would like to welcome Amit. Hi, Amit. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Anurag. Thank you for having me here.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to have you, Amit, on the show. And thank you for doing this with the Socially Desi show. We are in 2022 and we are having great conversations with great leaders, great business owners and founders like you on the show. And we aim to bring in more interesting conversations this year for our audience. And what better way to start off this year with talking about the fintech industry, which is actually booming in the country and across the globe. But before we get into the crux of our discussion today, I would love to know about your professional journey so far.
Sure, Anurag. I have had what you would call more of a topsy-turvy journey till date. I graduated as an avionics engineer, was supposed to join ISRO, chose not to. Then worked at a startup, one of the earliest members there, and learned a lot about how to do a startup. Moved on to do something of my own, and this startup was selected by the Startup Chile program. So had to move halfway, diagonally opposite across the world. Spent a lot of time in Chile, and then came back, started another payments company in India. And at the time when people used to call getting payments through mobile nothing short of black magic back in 2012.
Yeah
Got acquired by PayU in 2014, moved out to work on the Wing suite of products, then led the product team at Macan.com, helped relaunch it, and then back again to finance with Galaxy Card.
Wow.
So went from an engineer to a product manager to a founder, back to a product manager, back to a founder again.
Amazing journey, Amit. And what a coincidence. In fact, my cousin, she is currently in Antarctica right now. She works for ISRO and they're having some expedition there. So great to know that connect. I'll definitely share this episode with her and her team. She would love to listen to this. But yeah, I mean, what a journey, Amit. Different roles, different companies moving across the globe with different ventures. I think that is what makes a founder hustle throughout their career to make their business thrive. And talking about the hustle, what was the inspiration behind starting Galaxy Card?
The most common thing that I used to observe all through my career was that whenever I was talking to somebody who was making less than 25,000 a month, was that they were always in the mode of borrowing 500,000 rupees. And it was not really a matter of whether they had that income or not. It was more of a problem not about not having money when they needed the most. And that's kind of led to the fact that why do these guys keep borrowing, right? Why can't they have a buffer where they can rely on? For us and for the people I knew in my life, most of us either had a savings balance to use as a buffer or a credit card to use as a buffer.
Right.
Turns out these guys had neither of those, and that's how we thought about giving them one through Galaxy Card.
Interesting. And when you talk about the lending process, why did you chose a credit card system? Because I see a lot of companies also going the BNPL way, and there are other methods also, like you have Paytms. So why a credit card method? Why that route?
So there are two specific parts about being close to a credit card as we can be. is one that credit card has the intent behind it, the proven marketing grounds behind it, that it's an
Mm-hmm.
interest free product as long as you pay it on time, right? With
Right.
BNPLs and everything else, they may tout that it's an interest free, but most of them are hidden behind a subscription fee model. So it's not really
Mm-hmm.
free. If you don't use it for 3 months, you still continue to have to bear the subscription costs. Whereas on a typical credit card, if the only subscription cost you look at is an annual fee, which we've ensured is always zero on our product, and one of the other biggest thing that happens is that it comes across as a status symbol to our customers, right? You and I, we
Mm.
both would feel uncomfortable about talking about our personal loans. But if both of us were to be asked, which credit card either of us has, we'll be more than happy to share. मेरे पास signature ये वाला, मेरे पास platinum वो वाला, and so on and so forth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what we thought, that we want to give this kind of a status symbol, in our product as well, and
Hmm.
hence chose to be as close to a credit card as is allowed to us.
Interesting. And you also briefly touched base upon the fact that a lot of people face this issue where they need small credits at the right time and when they need the most. And that's when they don't have that. And that is where I think you guys are trying to bridge that gap. Um, what has been, in your experience, the main challenges that customers really face when it comes to the traditional versus modern payment methods in the country?
Anurag, typically, if you look at a traditional lending product, right,
Mm-hmm.
the challenges in India with the earlier non-digital adoption being there is that most institutional lending happens still on paper. And as Indians, we don't really trust each other well, and hence we have to kind of the habit of getting everything documented as much as it can. We'll take photographs of everything, we'll have photocopies of everything, and so on and so forth. Now, for
Correct.
every single time you need a 2,000 rupee loan, a 5,000 rupee loan, if you have to do all that documentation over and over, it's a pain, right? And the
Hmm.
worst part being the fact these people are not really borrowing for income, right? They don't need to buy a house कि मेरे को आज 10 लाख का लोन चाहिए ही चाहिए.
Yeah. Yeah.
उनकी जरूरत ही आज 500 रुपए की है. उनको आज राशन खरीदना है, आज अचानक से सिलेंडर खत्म हो गया, प्लान नहीं था सिलेंडर खत्म होने के लिए, आज उसके लिए 1,000 रुपए चाहिए. So those are
Hmm.
small needs that may arrive daily, right? And for that typical size, you can't really go about filling all that paperwork. आप घर से बाहर भी नहीं जाना चाहोगे उतने के लिए. You'll be like, यार एक
Yep.
फोन कर देता हूँ, कोई यूपीआई कर दे तो काम चल जाएगा. Right?
True.
And
True.
that's where the modern payment and lending products are coming in and filling that particular convenience as well as the need.
Hmm. Interesting, interesting. And I like that you spoke about, people don't want to get into that hustle of finding people ke yaar UPI kar do, yeah, I'll pay you in a week's time. But how do you generally educate the customers that, like you said, people in India don't trust each other, and for even the smallest amount of money borrowed, there's a lot of paperwork that they want to do, click pictures and all of that. But how do you educate your customers and public in general, especially in the smaller towns, that this particular fintech product is something which is safe, which is reliable, and they can use it for their day-to-day needs?
So, Anurag, one thing that I believe is that people generally always do things that are not in their best interest,
Hmm.
right? And they run after shiny new things,
Yeah.
which kind of lands them always in trouble. And
Hmm.
hence, education is really important about a product they may have never encountered before. So
Hmm.
for us at Galaxy Card, it is really important that we ensure that our customers understand our product. They don't think of it as a product where they can take money and then run away without consequences. We want them to also be very much aware about the fact that it's a loan. You should use it cautiously. Every product is great only and only, and when you exercise judiciousness when using it.
Yep.
So again, all in all, it comes back to the fact that educating the customer not just about the product, the goods and pros and cons of it are really, really important. And for the same reason, we've actually created a non-promotional channel for us, for our customers to learn about credit cards, the different kind of credit cards. I mean, it's so non-branded for us that we talk about different bank credit card, different even our
Hmm.
competitors' card products are talked about, and we follow a very non-biased approach there to talk about the pros and cons of every single product there. So we do a lot
Hmm.
of things to ensure that the customers understand what they're really buying when they get a card, what they're really subscribing to, what are they really signing up for. And on top of
Hmm.
that, one thing that we've observed is that the customer base we're speaking to, they may or may not be very fluent in a particular language, right? They may,
Right. Right.
we're a broad and diverse country. Some people may not speak Hindi, some people may not speak Tamil, some people may not speak English or whatnot, right? So it's really important for you to spread out your education in as local a language as possible, in as
Hmm.
common and colloquial terms as possible. It cannot be highs and fancy words that
Right.
people like educated people as well have trouble figuring out, let alone the
Yep.
non-educated people. Right? We don't want
Yep.
to tout Shashi Tharoor here, when we educate our customers.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
so a lot of things such as these go into our planning and strategizing when we educate the customer, and obviously, one of the fact that every single customer that we come in becomes our kind of a brand ambassador for us. We ensure that these guys understand before they, our product well before they start going out and telling others about it.
Yeah, interesting, Amit. And this resource base that you're talking about, is it like a YouTube channel or a website blog that you're talking about?
It's a YouTube channel called Credit Card Sahi Hai.
Credit card sahi hai. Okay, wonderful. So, guys, we'll put the links in the show notes below as well for credit card sahi hai. So, if you guys want more in-depth information around what Amit just spoke about, different credit cards and how you can make sure that you don't get into financial troubles, I think you should definitely check that out. We'll put the links in the show notes below. And moving ahead, Amit, uh, I think it's really important to empower the lower income group customers, especially in our country, because we also spoke about, before the episode, we spoke about in one of our conversations where there are a lot of loan sharks in the country, and people don't understand how interests work and how do they really want to take money from the market. And that is where these loan sharks, they take advantage of these low income group customers, and later on exploit them. uh, how can we as a society empower these low income groups so that they make the right decisions when it comes to managing and making money?
And very very well thought out question right there, and something that is really close to us,
Hmm.
and each one of us at Galaxy Card. We really want to ensure that people understand the pros and cons of not paying on time, right? There obviously are
Yep.
times when you really are strapped for cash and can't pay it up, and a lot of things come out from the fact that humans in general are really bad at math, right?
Hmm.
You won't really optimize for paying the highest interest loans earlier, which are costing you the most in terms of daily interest accrued on a absolute level, not just a percentage level. You want
Hmm.
to
Hmm.
reduce your overall lendings every now and then, and that's something that really hurts people.
Yep.
So it's really important for the lower income group to be able to be look at the absolute number of amount of money that they're losing out to interest on every particular
Hmm.
day. And
Hmm.
for that, a lot of it has to again do with education, not just about educating about products, but educating about how basic maths itself is a lot real, a hell lot important.
Yep.
Thankfully, with the advent of the edtech platforms, a lot of our a customer base are now learning new things, and they are becoming smart enough to understand most of these such things. However, there are still people who are trying to be use these gullible people and
Hmm.
fraud them around. We have so many frauds on UPI. We have so many frauds on the lending products. The
Yep.
only way for to spread the word out, if you look at how the government used to help the farmers by having free radio programs and stuff, I think
Hmm. Hmm.
platforms such as yours are a good way for the people to learn more, to understand more, and obviously from to learn from each other, instead of keeping such wealth to ourselves. We should try to ensure that more and more people that we come around in touch with in our daily lives, they understand more. And as an example, I was recently taking a cab,
Mm-hmm.
where one of the guys, he and we were just chatting about how he manages his cash flows, how does his income work today, how has he been affected by COVID. And that poor guy didn't even know the fact that the bank had been charging him interest during the moratorium period, that he had
Oh.
the option
Mm.
to avail a moratorium during the bank time. And the bank had not even notified him that such an option was available to him. So I told him to, go ahead, talk to the bank, to the manager, and ask him that, despite him asking for, some relief during that COVID period, why did the bank manager or his RM did not tell him about moratorium? Why was he not offered that particular service? Right. So a lot of such things happen, and it's really up to us, to the people, to who have learned or to who have suffered, to ensure that more
Mm-hmm.
and more people they come in touch with don't really suffer the same fate. And I think there's nothing much that can be done to make, and that will be more effective than some hearing it from somebody who you trust already and have a closer relationship with, than to understand more about these such products and such pitfalls.
No, absolutely, Amit. I completely agree with you. And what happens is what I have seen in my household also. Like we have a helper bhaiya here, and recently, he was about to get land up into a fraud by somebody who was trying to get money out of his UPI through his Geo app. And in fact, recently Reliance Geo had to publicly come and talk to their customers, release some statements where they said that don't entertain anyone who claims to be from Geo and they try to get money out of you through that Geo app. So a lot of frauds are happening. Scamsters are roaming around. And especially they're targeting people who are not much, they're not very fancy with their mobiles. They don't understand how apps work. And that is where I wanted to ask my next question from you, because since there is no physical credit card, right? Galaxy card is a digital card. Okay, it lives on your mobile. How do you ensure that these kind of scams don't really happen through your card? Are there any mitigation policies that you have or anything in place which can really help these poor people? Because daily, on a daily basis, I keep hearing in the news or from somebody that these kind of scams are happening.
Exactly, Anurag. So there are, if I were to break down this problem, it's more of a problem about confusion that happens in a
Hmm.
UPI app. For it's UPI has two modes of operations. One is send money, and the other is request money. Right,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
the biggest number of scams on UPI are happening through the request money feature, where instead
Hmm.
of actually receiving money, you are believed to be entering your UPI QR pin to actually send money.
Hmm.
So that, even though it was meant as a great value add to the customer, and it is one of the biggest reasons that UPI has seen such big adoption, the product flow kind of lagged. And a lot of UPI apps today have made sure that they give you a sufficient warning when you are responding to a request money, a request.
Okay.
And those are helping customers understand the fact that instead of getting money, they're actually going to be paying it out. So those things really really affected UPI. And one of the things that we did to ensure such things don't happen is that we created only a very simple flow where you can only and only send money. Nobody can request money of you on the Galaxy Card app. So since there's
Okay.
only one flow and you understand that there is only one way to use Galaxy Card, no one can trick you into saying कि मेरे को यहाँ पे पैसे आ रहे हैं और मैं आपको पैसे देने की जगह आपसे निकलवा रहा हूँ.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yes,
Hmm.
we can be smart, but there's always a catch and mouse game. So we are always ensuring that we ensure that our customers understand what is going on. And then we have built, personal, fraud checks in our system again to
Okay.
ensure that agar, if the customer is showing a particular behavior that he's never done before, suddenly he's spending, 1,000 rupees when he generally only spends $100, for example, a very rudimentary example here.
Hmm.
We
Hmm.
will alert the user ki, something doesn't look right, we need some extra information for you, you are trying to do a transaction which you don't generally do.
Hmm. 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 Hmm.
So multiple such things keep on happening. We keep on updating the product to ensure that as and when we come across, and we do have had a few cases where some tricksters had tried to get our customers to pay the credit card bill, but instead
Okay.
of paying to us as a company, they had asked them to pay to some other bank account. right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
again, education becomes really, really important. They had built phishing websites to make it look as if the customer was paying on Galaxy card and stuff like that.
Ah.
They would
Hmm.
send out WhatsApp with their photos set to our icons and logos and so on and so forth, and then trap the poor customer.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
then we have to continuously ensure that such things, we continue to educate our customers and they don't do it. And we leverage the fact that we want the customer to interact with us only through our app. So we limit the fact that since it's a single point of communication channel with us, be it for transacting or using it, it becomes easier for us to control the amount of fraud happening outside our control.
Hmm. No, I agree. I agree, Amit. And I like the fact that you spoke about, checking the behavioral, changes, or maybe the behavior in which a customer really does use the card. And I think the only other example that I can think of in my own personal experience is MX. I have an MX card, and I remember back in 2018 or 19, I went on a shopping spree, and I was like doing transactions every half an hour. And I got a call from my customer support from MX, and they told me, Anurag, I hope this is you, because we saw a lot of transactions happening in the last couple of hours, and we just wanted to ensure whether you have the card with you and it's not lost. And they just did like a small security
Yep,
check as
yep.
well. So I really like that. I don't know any if there's any other bank who's doing this kind of a behavioral check on the customers. I think that that's a great point there, Amit, and I'm glad that Galaxy Card is doing this for, in fact, the lower income groups as well, because, like you said, these tricksters and scamsters, they'll figure out different techniques to replicate what the UI of a particular app looks like, and make you feel like that you are doing a transaction to a particular person that you intend to, but then it goes on to a different person. So really like that feature. I think that will really benefit a lot of people. Guys, if you are listening to this episode right now, you have made it so far, please do put your comments in the chat below, and let us know whether this feature is something that you have witnessed in other of your banking apps or cards as well. We would love to know if other banks are also doing this. And if you are excited about this, do let us know, and also reach out to Amit and Galaxy Card if you want to apply for your own account on Galaxy Card. Apart from that, before we end today's episode, Amit, I would love to know from you if there are any trends that you are witnessing or you predict for the fintech industry in the next couple of years.
Sure, Anurag, and that's something that really keeps us excited every day. With the
Hmm.
amount of innovation and things that are happening in fintech today, we're at a and especially on the crypto side as well. There are so
Yep.
many exciting things that are possible today that were not even there of just a few short years ago.
Yep.
And some of the things that are really excite us is the fact that RBI continues to have a very solid vision of what they want in the future, with the
Hmm.
recent testing going on for offline payments, wherein you can do transactions of up to 200 rupees without having internet connectivity, is
Okay.
actually a game changer, right? And will allow people in the most rural areas to continue to become digitally included in financial transactions. And this will take a huge leap forward in for the economy of the country, where we'll have the lowest and the most remotest of people coming on to becoming digitally included in that transaction level, which then probably could be married to crypto in the next few months, and we
Hmm.
could then
Hmm.
potentially see offline lending happening backed by, say, crypto, to ensure that the blockchain is verified and every transaction can be vetted through across. And all those things combined together, come together to create an economy where you don't really need internet to do a small emergency fund, being in the even in the remotest of areas. And that itself by itself includes starts including the poorest of the poor. It includes the remotest of the remote, and that's where you start becoming together as a nation. And it again opens up a new door of possibilities. If you look at so many sellers who've been able to come together on platforms, the social selling platforms, which has created so many opportunities for these people. UPI by itself has created so many easier ways for people to start transacting digitally. And all of that leads to opening up avenues for people to become more independent in their stuff. It allows them to be able to subscribe to more channels on things like on the internet, and get more access to the resources available onto them on the internet, which then allows them to become more capable and everything. So it's all in all, everything starts at a very grassroots level, but that's the power of human innovation and advancement, that we are able to compound whatever we are learning and build up on top of it. So I think the future is very, very exciting, not just for fintech, for edtech and the crypto market, and what is really going on these days. In the near future, I do expect that we'll be one of the biggest economies in the country to have the largest share of digital transactions pretty soon.
For sure, for sure. I agree with that. And I hope that we also get onto that path of getting more and more people involved in digital transactions. And with policies now maybe coming up for crypto and blockchain, I think we'll get some more clarity as to what sort of things we can expect from crypto in India. And like you said, just wanted to share that as well with my audience, that in 2019, there were just around 41% of our population was using internet. And today, by 2021, it rose up to 61%. So there's a huge jump in the last couple of years with the use of internet now booming in India. And with this, I think with the usage of internet in India growing, the digital payments, the digital transactions will also grow, because at the end of the day, the idea is to make sure that we as a country, right from our remotest part to the urban areas, we get closer to the digital ecosystem, and we get into the digital ecosystem to ensure, like you said, we do transactions, and every transaction is maintained, it's verified, and there's no possibility of scams. Maybe we can reduce the possibility of scams in the near future, and that is what will empower a lot of people and build trust in folks who are still on the fence of whether they should get into the digital payment systems or not on their mobile. So with that, Amit, I would like to say thanks to you for being on the show today. You have been a lovely guest, an absolute pleasure to speak with. And I'm sure my audience would have gained a lot many good insights through this episode today. Guys, again, go check out the show notes below. We have put in the YouTube channel link as well as Galaxy Card website link. So go there, check out. And if you feel that you want to be a part of Galaxy Card, do drop in your details there on their website, and their team will take it ahead from there. Thank you, Amit, for being on the show today.
It was an absolute pleasure speaking with you, Rag. Thank you for having me again.
So that wraps it up for today, folks. If you liked the episode, give it a big thumbs up, share it with your friends, and let's go viral. Remember, our weekly podcast features episodes on personal growth, mental health, relationships, business and entrepreneurship, and health and fitness. We would love to have Mr. Amit on the show again in the future to talk more about the fintech industry in India. So if you haven't yet done so, hit that subscribe button and go check out our website at sociallydesi.com. And as always, before I sign off, remember, life is black and white and everything in between.